Prepper, I'm Steve. And do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Hell no, man. No one understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Name that movie. How y'all doing today? I'm enjoying it, man. It's going to be like 83 degrees down from 213 degrees. It's going to be a good day. Today, I would like to kind of go on a rant. I know where I want this video to go, but we may have to take a detour through the woods to get there. So bear with me, please. You hear me talk about prepping, homesteading. Not so much homesteading, because there's a lot of people more knowledgeable than me online, and I don't want to waste your time with being an intermediate. But you hear me define and put into distinction certain groups when it comes to mags and everything like that. And you hear me talking about getting your mind right when it comes to prepping. How you see things, how you go about things. Well, I kind of want to blend that together today, because there's a lot of bad news going on, and everybody's saying be prepared, be aware, get this, get this, get this. But I don't hear anybody talking about maybe doing things to change the community around them just a little bit, to make things a little bit easier. Do I think one person can change the world? Yeah, I do, eventually. But it takes a while. I'm gonna kind of go from a well of personal experience in some issues that are going on in my family, like right now, to try to make a point. And I won't try to get deeply into it, because it's not just my story. It's my daughter's and her boyfriend. Yes, living in sin, ladies and gentlemen. It's a shame. Having a baby, not married. Terrible. Very terrible. And I'm not joking. Very terrible. I'm hoping here pretty soon that I can get up there and marry him. But I digress. Some issues are coming in. If any of you have heard me talk about it, we're awaiting my first granddaughter. And I am very, very excited. You give me the roughest, toughest, meanest, dirty, hairy John Wayne man, and he will have a huge smile on his face, wearing a princess crown, playing tea party with his little girl, whether it be his daughter or granddaughter. I have a bunch of grandsons, and don't get me wrong, I love them. I'll kill and die for them. They are my whole world. I have a handful of arrows, and my quiver is full. I have an army, and it's fantastic. But I want that little girl grabbing my leg, hugging and loving, saying, "I love you, Papa," sitting on my lap, playing tea party, throwing her in the air and tickling her. And I just want that soft, squishy kind of love that you get when a little girl is the only girl in a group of testosterone. You kind of need that. It makes you complete, and it fills your heart with joy. And I can't wait. But I digress. She found out last week that the baby is going to have some issues. And I won't get into the issues because, as I said, not my story to tell. But best case scenario, it will be difficult. Worst case scenario, looking at multiple surgeries over her lifetime, especially I think maybe 10 over 18 years. But not saying that for pity, not saying that for anything else. Right now, she's hurt, my daughter, and she's, I don't want to say hateful, I don't want to say bitter, but you know where your mind goes whenever somebody that you love with all of your heart is going to have a problem. You're just kind of mad at the world. And my daughter, bless her heart, I can't say if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Most likely it's a bad thing. But she's exactly like me, more than my other children are. Each of them has a personality trait that mimics mine. And again, can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But unfortunately, she has been cursed with having almost my identical personality. And along with that comes independence, no nonsense, not enjoying comfort. Get up and walk it off, and let's get down to business. That's good traits to have if you are in the generation that I am. Nowadays, when you have those traits, you're kind of a lone wolf, and people don't look at you the same, because everybody needs to be coddled, everybody needs to have their hand held, everybody needs to be patted on the head and say, everything's going to be okay. You're valid, you deserve it, you're wonderful, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's a time and a place for it, I reckon. But her boyfriend, yes, ladies and gentlemen, boyfriend, I take great shame in that. Not husband as of yet, but I'll marry him. Even if it's in their sleep, I'll put the rings on them, and I'll grab their little lip and say, I do. I'll marry them. I'll get them married. I digress. Sorry about that. That's a personal belief shining through. But if you were to be from my generation and look at them from the outside, you would think the roles are reversed. She is the head of the household. She has experience. He really doesn't. I won't get into past or anything like that. But he doesn't have like the independent life experience. And the way that he was raised, it was with positive affirmation. And the way that he is positive affirmation. And he kind of needs an ego boost every now and again. And he's okay with the hand holding and the hugging and the rubbing the back and saying, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That's the way that he comforts. And it's okay, that's fine. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. She doesn't like to be comforted like that. She doesn't give a damn about idle words. Words don't make anything better. She wants to solve a problem. She wants to attack it head on, and she wants to be prepared and ready for situations so they don't sneak up on her. She's like me, ladies and gentlemen. But the roles are reversed. It's like she's the head of the family doing the more tactical, physical business, and he's in the, I don't want to call him a girl. I mean, I call him a girl enough to his face. I'm kidding. I'm picking. If you're watching this dude, chill out. But he takes more of the supportive, emotional role. That's okay. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, I'll keep my opinions to myself, but it's okay. Somebody's got to do it. If my daughter's not going to do it, then I guess the man needs to. But they're going through something right now. He wants to be there, and he's offering support and love and care. She doesn't like that. And if anybody out there has ever been worried or scared, and somebody that they love wholeheartedly is afflicted with a problem, they hate the whole world, and they become bitter and hard and callous. And my daughter's going through that right now. She has the right to. Everybody has the right to. But they're squabbling amongst themselves. He's trying to support her, but he's supporting her in the way that he gets support. She's looking at that and thinking that it's superficial and it's nonsense, and it's making her angry at him because he is not supporting her the way that she needs to be supported. So they're both correct, but they're both wrong at the same time. He's trying to be there, she's trying to let him. But she doesn't think he's doing it, and he doesn't think, well, he just doesn't think. He doesn't know why he's in the wrong, because he's trying with all of his heart, God bless him. But he's not looking at her as a person, looking at her needs, and he's not realizing how he needs to be and how he needs to offer support. I told you I was going somewhere with this. That brings me up to being a leader of a mag or a community or a family and being a sheepdog. See, again, those that know me, I call myself a branded sheepdog. I've been branded since an early age that this is what I was going to do and this is what I was going to become. It felt right to me. I'm not a shepherd, there's only one shepherd. Sure as hell, I'm not a sheep. Being a sheepdog will take care of any predators. They stay on guard, they stay alert. They're ever watchful, protecting the flock that they're charged with. But they'll also go in, and if there's any quarreling and fighting among the livestock, they'll get right in between and they'll mediate and they'll break up the fights and everything. They listen to the shepherd, but they make decisions on their own. And that's what we need to do. We have to remember that we can be an assistant shepherd, but there's only one shepherd, and we need to be a sheepdog. We need to guide the flock to the shepherd. We need to guide them where they need to be. We need to be ever watchful for outside predators, but we also need to be there when it comes to fighting. And if the flock are doing anything to themselves within the flock where they may hurt themselves. That comes with leadership too, because if you're part of a family or you're part of a mag, you don't want to have quarreling within the group. And if there is quarreling within the group, you need to try to mediate it, and you need to get in between to resolve the issue before it becomes something. As a head of a family, you want to see what's right, you want to see what's best. And I've told you that I have a problem with sticking my nose in, but I hate to see my kids hurt. I hate to see them going through things. I know what my daughter's going through right now, and I know her better than anybody because, as I said, she's almost like me, exactly. And I know what I need to be comforted and what I need to see from a partner. Now, if I was to leave it alone like I should, there's a chance that things may get resolved. But there's also, and in my opinion, a bigger chance that it's going to lead to a separation. And that's not what any of them, especially the baby on the way, need. So I offer my advice and I offer my 2 cents. And I stay completely neutral because I see them both doing right, but both doing wrong. And neither want to do wrong, but they just don't know how to get into the pen. So it's my job as a sheepdog to guide them. I need to talk to him, although he probably won't talk to me. He's a private person, he's nice and polite, and I think I'm a little aggressive for his liking. I think he has a little bit of intimidation when it comes to talking to me. He doesn't know me that well yet. But he needs guidance from somebody that can give him a good piece of advice. I talk with my daughter and I tell her to put herself in his shoes knowing what type of a person he is, and maybe that can open her eyes and she could be a little more forgiving and understanding. But it's not really even part of a mag. As I said before, there's an analogy. Maybe you might feel alone in something, and there might be 2, 3, 4, 5 people around you that you know of that are kind of in the same place that you are, but you're not sure and you're not positive on how serious they are, so you don't want to talk to them about preparing. You sure don't want to tell them about anything that you're doing to prepare. But you need to open that dialogue and have that conversation. Well, talking to them is the best thing. If we start getting a group of sheepdogs, we start a movement, because that is what the world needs. There are too many sheep. There are too many people that are trying to be shepherds when they cannot be, and there's not enough sheepdogs standing up to guide and protect and mediate. You may think that it's sticking your nose in, but when you have this person that is unwilling or unable to see another side, and you have this person with the same dilemma, how are they going to get together? There's more division now in this world than there has really ever been, especially in the United States. I don't think there was as much division on as many topics, even during the Civil War, that there is now. And if you go and ask a liberal if anything could be done for them to work with a conservative, they will say no. If you go to a conservative, or even now a libertarian, and you ask them if there is any way that they would be able to work with a liberal, they will tell you, hell no. There's a straight divide. A house divided against itself cannot stand. So where does that put our nation? Nothing good comes to mind. When you have such a clear division, and it's 50-50 down the middle, half want to go this way and half want to go that way, there is no forcing them together. Even a dictatorship will not, because there's more of us than there are of them. We may sustain heavy losses, but eventually we will overcome. So there is no government body that can keep the people together. And what you need are sheepdogs. You need the people that are willing to listen, make a person feel heard and feel understood, relate with the person on both sides, and then find a negotiation and a happy medium, offer suggestions, bring them together to cut through the fighting and the nonsense. And I think as preppers and parts of MAGs, or the mentality of a community, we are fit for that. We are meant for that, and that's what we need to do. So when you're prepping and you're thinking about you versus them, what you need to prepare, and what your family needs, and your loved ones, and the random stranger that comes by, instead of just thinking about yourself and what you can do to prepare, why don't you possibly go and try to prepare your community? Because if you're surrounded with preppers, you don't have to worry about them coming to take your stuff because they have their own. You don't have to worry about bad people coming in and taking your stuff because you have a group that will stick up for you. Instead of being one lone sheepdog amongst sheep that scatter when the wolves come a-sniffing, you have an entire flock of sheepdogs. You have that, and people really don't expect it. I've heard it said it's better to have a flock of sheep run by a lion than have a herd of lions, or a pride of lions, I'm sorry, a murder of lions, a flock of lions. Having a bunch of lions led by a sheep. And that's true. If you have a nation that's being led by a bumbling old idiot that licks on an ice cream cone and poops when you say pope, a corrupted piece of trash, then all of the lions following them have the mentality of a sheep, and they're scattered because he can't even remember what time of the day it is, let alone be articulate enough to bring the nation together. It does not matter what the quality of the soldier is if you have a good leader. And it does not matter what the quality of the soldier is if you have a bad leader. A good is going to lift them up, a bad is going to bring them down. You need to put yourself in as a sheepdog and help work through the problems of your community. And it's not just the individual squabbling either. Do you see a need that your community has and people are lacking and people are without? Do you have a good solution for it? Can you think of something? Well, why don't you take it upon yourself to try to do something about it? That's a problem with a lot of people like myself. I am guilty of this. When they see the whole world crumbling, they don't want to run out and try to fix the problem of the world crumbling. They want to introvert, and they want to circle the wagons, close ranks, put up walls, and say, let the world burn, I'm taken care of. Well, that's how the world burns. If you want to do something about it, be a mediator to those. Now, I'm not saying go out and forcefully get two people together and say, you need to do this and you need to do this. No, I'm saying when the need arises, you need to be able to communicate, and you need to be able to be a peacemaker. Calm the fire. But that's just my opinion. If you want to look down in the description at some things that I'm going to post, I'd be appreciative. I need more coffee. But you can find me on all of the pertinent platforms, the Facebook, the Twitter, X, TPH Network, very good platform. I suggest you get on it. Just like Facebook, same but different. Much better. You can find me here on the tube. You can find another video that I'm going to post about another topic over on Rumble. A little bit freer over there, so I don't have to mind my P's and Q's as much. You can also find me on a platform called Locals, where you will get exclusive content, and you don't have to pay for it. At least one right now, because I don't have very much in the membership section, because I want you to feel validated when it comes to spending your hard-earned money, and if I don't think it's worth it, I'm not going to ask for it. So everything is in the free section right now, other than one or two things. And there are many other people on Locals that have free content and subscription content. Think Patreon, but better. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.